elementary school. Large amounts of oil gushed out, ultimately breaking straight through the school's roof. When Burns learned that oil had been found at the school, he immediately began plotting his scheme. The school finally completed the oil well, and student representative Lisa pressed the switch on the oil pump. So many people had been waiting for this moment to realize their dreams, but in the end, only a single drop of oil came out.
Someone else has tapped this well! Ay caramba!
It turned out that Burns had been sabotaging everything behind the scenes. He used a longer oil pipe to steal the oil. Soon, oil gushed out from his pipeline, and the tremendous force directly knocked over the Simpsons' treehouse. This resulted in Bart's favorite dog being hospitalized, likely requiring a vehicle for transportation for the next 2 months. Bart swore to find the culprit. The school was surrounded by people whose dreams had been shattered. To pay for the oil extraction costs, the school also had to cut expenses.
I'll kill that Mr. Burns! And wound that Mr. Smithers! Get out of my way!
Due to Burns' exploration while frantically extracting oil, the land above the oil well became extremely unstable. This caused the area where the nursing home was located to collapse directly. Even Moe's Tavern became unbearably foul-smelling because of Burns. People would become disoriented without even drinking alcohol. Moe's bar was even temporarily shut down because of this. The angrier Moe got, the more he pulled out his gun to settle the score with Burns. Burns' operation made him filthy rich. The town's residents all hated him intensely. Even so, Burns wasn't satisfied. Next, he planned to block out the sun, because the sun provides free energy to people. If he blocked the sun, Springfield would need the nuclear power plant even more. Smithers really couldn't stand it anymore and urged Burns to stop, but unexpectedly Burns fired him outright.
I'll do no such thing! You're fired!
Regarding Burns' plan to block the sun, Springfield residents urgently convened a town meeting. Each of them even brought guns to the meeting. Burns' behavior not only caused people to lose their jobs, but some even lost their homes. People were all indignant about this. At that moment, Burns showed up uninvited, standing at the door and stirring things up. Then he took out a remote control and pressed the switch. A large metal disc slowly rose up, perfectly blocking the sun. At 3 p.m., Springfield turned into night.
Hello, lamppost. What you knowin'? I've come to watch your power flowing.
Burns walked smugly down the deserted street. The hand of fate quietly reached out toward him. He walked into an alley, and shortly after, gunshots rang out from inside. Burns clutched his chest and staggered a few steps, collapsing painfully onto a sundial. Due to poor lighting, no one saw who the shooter was, but everyone knew full well that everyone present was a suspect. Currently, the biggest suspect was Smithers. He was drunk and seemed capable of doing anything. He even began to doubt himself because he had a gun on him.
Mr. Burns, what have I done?
The guilt tormented Smithers to near madness, so he went to church to confess. Just as he was revealing his crime, the police chief suddenly appeared and arrested Smithers. Smithers recalled that he had left the town meeting early to go home and watch TV, but an old man blocked his way home, so he fired his gun. The police immediately found the old man to gather evidence. Facts proved that Smithers had only hit the old man's leg.
Thank God.
Smithers' suspicion was temporarily cleared, but the real culprit was still at large. The police couldn't find any clues and could only set the matter aside for now. At this time, Springfield residents mobilized in force to prepare to dismantle the sunblocker. Homer had even developed rickets from not getting any sunlight. They connected the car to the sunblocker with ropes, then floored the gas pedal and threw the sunblocker off a cliff.
What town did we just crush?
Shelbyville.
At this time, Burns lay unconscious in the hospital. The police had no leads on the case. However, Lisa listed several of the most suspicious people. The oil well had affected Moe's bar business. The school principal had lost millions because of it. Willie lost his job and his dreams were shattered. The police thought this made sense and began investigating one by one. The school principal had an alibi. Willie also said it wasn't him because his index finger was broken and he couldn't fire a gun at all. Moe also passed a lie detector test proving it wasn't him. The police chief was stumped again. At this point, his subordinate suggested checking the coat Burns was wearing at the time. The police chief thought he had a point, so they immediately found the coat. Upon close examination, there was actually an eyelash on the clothing. The police immediately took the eyelash to the DNA testing center. With current technology, using the DNA from the eyelash, the doctor could basically determine which family the person belonged to.
Now it's gonna narrow it down to the family bloodline.
Just then, Burns suddenly sat up and shouted, "Homer!" After hearing this, the police immediately mobilized and searched Homer's home. Sure enough, they found a gun in his car. The gun was covered with Homer's fingerprints, and the bullet matched the one in Burns' body.
You're under arrest for attempted murder.
No!
Yeah, that's what they all say. They all say dough.
Homer was arrested for attempted murder. On the way, the police chief bought some fast food, but he was too lazy to get out of the car and just reached for it. Homer happened to be sitting on this side, and their combined weight flipped the car over. Homer also managed to slip away because of this. At this moment, Homer quietly snuck into the hospital, preparing to kill Burns. After learning the news, the police immediately rushed to the hospital. They just saw the brutal Homer committing the crime, but Burns stated that it wasn't Homer who fired the gun, but Maggie. That day, he saw Maggie holding candy, but Smithers wouldn't let him take candy from a child's hand, so Burns took advantage of his absence to go after the child. During their struggle, Burns' gun fell out of his clothes, and then the gun went off. Now the truth was